The night my best friend got drunk, he made one mistake, one tiny mistake that destroyed 10 years of secrets. He said my name not like a friend, not like a brother, but like someone hopelessly in love. And when I heard what he said next, I realized my entire life had been a lie. Because for 10 years I thought I was the only one hiding a secret. I was wrong. My name is Jordan, and for as long as I can remember, Mason had been my best friend. We met when we were 13 years old. I was shy, awkward, and terrible at making friends. Mason was confident, funny, and somehow liked by everyone. The first time we spoke was after a group of older boys started teasing me at school. Instead of ignoring it, Mason sat beside me and told them to leave me alone. That single moment changed my life. Within weeks, we became inseparable. We spent weekends playing video games, staying up late talking about everything and nothing, and making plans for the future. Whenever people saw us together, they assumed we'd known each other forever. In some ways it felt like we had. As we got older, nothing changed, at least not on the surface. The truth was that when I turned 16, I started seeing Mason differently. At first I ignored it, then I denied it, eventually I accepted it. I was in love with my best friend. And I hated myself for it, not because there was anything wrong with how I felt, but because I believed he could never feel the same way. So I kept my feelings hidden. Years passed. High school ended, college began, and somehow Mason remained the center of my life. Whenever something good happened, he was the first person I called. Whenever something bad happened, he was the first person who showed up. No matter what was going on, he was always there. That should have made me happy. Instead, it made things harder. Because the more time we spent together, the more impossible it became to stop loving him. I tried dating other people. I genuinely tried. There were good dates, nice guys, potential relationships, but none of them lasted, and strangely enough, Mason always seemed involved. Whenever I started talking to someone new, Mason became distant. Whenever I got serious with someone, he acted irritated. Whenever a relationship ended, he seemed relieved. At first, I thought I was imagining things. Then one of my ex-boyfriends asked me something. Has it ever occurred to you that your best friend acts like a jealous boyfriend? Laugh. But later that night, I couldn't stop thinking about it, because deep down I knew he was right. Still, I never said anything. I was afraid of ruining our friendship, afraid of hearing the answer I didn't want, and most of all, afraid of losing him. After college, Mason and I moved into an apartment together. Everyone thought it was because rent was expensive. That was part of it, but the real reason was simpler. We didn't like being apart. Living together felt natural. Like we'd already spent half our lives preparing for it. Every morning we drank coffee together before work. Every evening we watched movies or ordered takeout. Some nights we'd sit on the balcony talking until midnight. Those moments became my favorite part of the day, and also the hardest. Because every time he smiled at me, I wanted more than friendship, more than shared apartments, more than stolen glances, but I never told him. Then came the night everything changed. One of Mason's coworkers was celebrating a promotion and invited everyone out. Mason convinced me to come. The night started normally: music, food, drinks, laughter, nothing unusual. As the evening went on, Mason drank more than usual, not enough to lose control, just enough to lower his guard. Around midnight we returned home. I helped him get inside and guided him to the couch. He looked exhausted, his eyes were half closed. I laughed. Maybe next time drink a little less. He mumbled something. What? I asked. He looked at me, and suddenly his expression softened, the way someone looks at a person they love, a look I'd never seen before, or maybe I'd seen it 1,000 times and never understood it. Then he whispered my name. Jordan. The way he said it sent chills down my spine. Not friendly, not casual, different, completely different. Okay? I asked quietly. He smiled sadly. Love you. My heart stopped. For a moment I honestly thought I'd imagined it. What? His eyes closed. Love you. Room became silent. Every thought disappeared, every fear, every doubt, everything. For years I dreamed about hearing those words. Now that I finally had, I couldn't process them. Mason seemed unaware of what he'd said. Within minutes he fell asleep on the couch, leaving me awake for the rest of the night. The next morning was torture. I sat across from him at breakfast, trying to act normal. Meanwhile, my heart was trying to escape my chest. Finally, I couldn't take it anymore. Mason. He looked up. Yeah, what happened last night? His expression changed immediately. The color drained from his face. What do you mean? You told me you loved me. Silence, the longest silence of my life. Mason stared at the table, then at me, then away again. I could practically see the panic in his eyes. Finally he stood up. I shouldn't have said that. Words hurt more than I expected. You didn't mean it. He laughed bitterly. That's the problem. I swallowed hard. What problem? His voice cracked. Problem is that I've meant it for years. Everything stopped. He took a shaky breath. Loved you since high school. I couldn't move, couldn't speak, couldn't think. Mason continued. I tried to get over it. He laughed sadly. I dated other people. I ignored it. I lied to myself. Nothing worked. Every word felt unreal, like listening to someone describe my own life. Then he looked at me. I know you don't feel the same way. I almost laughed. 10 years of loving him. And he thought I didn't feel the same way. Mason, his eyes met mine. Been in love with you since I was 16. For a second neither of us spoke, neither of us moved. Then Mason blinked. Smiled. You heard me. His eyes widened. Serious? I nodded, and suddenly for the first time in years he smiled, not a small smile, not a nervous smile, a real one, the happiest smile I'd ever seen. A moment later we were both laughing. Years of confusion felt ridiculous now. Two people, two secrets. 1 decade wasted. Eventually Mason stepped closer, carefully, like he was afraid I might disappear. Can I kiss you? He asked. I smiled, waited long enough. And finally, after years of silence, we stopped pretending. The kiss felt like coming home. The months that followed were the happiest of my life. Nothing changed. And yet everything changed. He was still my best friend, still my favorite person. The only difference was that now I could finally tell him how I felt. A year later, Mason proposed during a weekend trip to the lake where we'd spent summers as teenagers. Of course, I said yes, because the truth was simple. I had loved him for years, and now I never had to hide it again.